Good morning. Welcome to our Talks. Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those on our YouTube channel, we make mental health conversation and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about managing anxiety in college, right? So tips for students to thrive, mentally, right? So college can be exciting, overwhelming at the same time. However, anxiety is something that, in regards to research, anxiety is one of the most common mental health challenges amongst college students. In regards to the APA, in addition to the CDC, academic peer pressure, social challenges, and independence can increase stress levels during this life stage. So I really want to take consideration that we went to the teenage years and going to high school. Now we're going to college, trying to figure out things in our life, right? We went through the identity crisis, trying to figure out who we are. We got life. We have a lot of things going on with us, right? And we're trying to balance all these things out, right? So stick with me, grow with me, and we're going to be able to navigate throughout this video, right? So the first segment, we're going to dive into why anxiety is common in college, right? So off rip, academic pressure. So we have exams, we have deadlines, we have performance expectations, increase that stress. So it's a lot, right? And I'm gonna be real with you. I go to my own school. I went through the community college process. I went to the 4-year process, going to the transition on that aspect, and now I'm at the master's level. And I'm privileged to work at this job I've been at for a while, currently at MIT, and I was able to talk to some students as well. And you'd be surprised in regards to some people's self-care regimen, the responsibilities, what they got going on. We have stress in regards to transportation issues, family issues. Everybody has their own situations and things that they have going on, right? But all these pressures play into our anxiety and our stress. Next, we're going to be talking about life transitions, right? So we have new environments, we have independence, we have responsibilities that can feel overwhelming. Some people never felt what it's like to live alone, right? So you have to endure that. You're in that new environment. You have other people got going on, right? And what my pops told me too back in the day too is true, is that the way I raise you is the way I raise you. You know what I mean? People have the way that they raise their kids in their own family, which is true. However, it's really important to make sure that you have a good value system. You have your morals, because when you're on that college campus, people are gonna be living their life, doing what they got to do. However, you're responsible for your grades. You're responsible for your success. You're responsible for your future. You're responsible for your happiness, right? There's been situations where I've witnessed people be on academic probation, right? So they're partying too much, not handling their due diligence, not handling what they're there for, right? You're handling your purpose, right? And before you know it, they flunk out and they're not on campus anymore. And now they have to, restart courses or even bump themselves to community college to work themselves back up to navigating through their academic journey. So life doesn't get any realer, but life is really what you make of it. And I really want to be transparent. I want us to grow. I want things to be real, and life doesn't get any realer. So, stick with me, Therapy Talks, you heard? However, let's talk about social adjustment, right? So we have making friends and fitting in, can trigger that anxiety as well, according to the Journal of Adolescence and Health, right? So it's a different experience. We gotta be real. Next, uncertainty about the future, right? So career concerns about life direction contribute to our worry. We're thinking about the future, thinking about what we're gonna have, what things are gonna be looking like, right? I'm working hard every single day, but what am I working towards, right? So this is common in college students, and this is the stress and anxiety that come with it. Next segment, we're going to be talking about how anxiety affects, daily college life, right? So we're navigating through the distress, and let's talk about some concerns and concepts, right? So we have concentration difficulty, right? So anxiety can interfere with our focus and our memory. In regards to even our sleep disruption too, right? So stress often impacts our sleep quality, which can worsen our anxiety, right? So if you're not getting the best sleep, how can you perform? You over here, how you gonna get to that 9 o'clock class on time and be able to perform and really retain the information from that lecture, right? A lot of information coming at us, right? So all these different things affect how we're able to perform and affect our mental health. Next, we're going to be talking about avoidance behaviors, right? So skipping classes or social activities can increase isolation as well, right? So we got to make sure that we're on time, we're going to school, we're there for our purpose, we're there to handle our business. And let's don't get it twisted. We have financial aid, we have, we got financial responsibilities at the end of the day, right? This is a business, so don't get it twisted. But there are avoidance behaviors attached to this as well that cause and affect our, anxiety. Next is going to be emotional fatigue, right? So constant worry can lead to that burnout over time. So we're just, we're having these spiral of rumination. We're having these poor negative thoughts, right? This affects our daily living. So I really want to include that as well. However, let's dive into some practical strategies and steps to manage our anxiety. So we have time management. We got to be taking consideration. We got to be, putting ourselves first, right? You matter. Don't get it twisted, right? So breaking our tasks into smaller, manageable steps can be able to help reduce, that overwhelming factor. That So looking at your schedule, right? Your keyword, your schedule, not your friends, not, you know what I mean, like your classmates, looking at your schedule, looking at what works for you, right? And proactively making tasks manageable for yourself. I remember them days where I used to, even for myself, I'd be a procrastinator. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. But college really is about structure. You have to manage your time good, right? And by pushing things off, you're only making it more strenuous for yourself. You're only giving yourself that burnout because you're gonna be torped, because it's like, how am I gonna get all this work done? How am I gonna break down this paper? And it's like a 10 to 16 page paper, right? Things can get real, right? But if you're not proactively following the course, following the syllabus, asking for help, asking for more time, looking at your schedule, right, and breaking things down to be more manageable for you, it's only going to get more stress for yourself. So I want to make sure we're doing things proactive and making sure that we're breaking things down so we're able to achieve them. Next is going to be routine and structure, right? So consistency, you know what I mean? It's going to give you that discipline, you heard? So you're navigating through this, right? So consistent schedules support that emotional stability, right? So when you have a routine, you know what to do. It's easy for you to kind of, navigate through. Next is going to be that mindfulness, right? And that breathing, right? So finding time to give yourself the grounding techniques and utilizing those strategies to be able to help you keep your body calm, working that nervous system, keeping it calm to help you regulate yourself in moments of that distress so you're able to persevere through whatever the situation may be. Mindfulness is essential. Next is going to be that limit overload, right? So setting the boundaries with those, commitments protects your mental energy, right? So, put it like I said, looking at your schedule, doing what you could do, put yourself first, right? And avoiding that overload, avoiding that burnout, right? Knowing when to set that boundary, knowing to say no. No means no. It's a full sentence, right? If you can't get to it, you can't get to it, right? And, sometimes you got to also take in consideration too, sacrifice, right? If you know you have a lot of work to do, you may not be able to go to that party. Another one will come. It's not the end of the world, right? So making sure that you're taking your life serious, you know what I mean? Making sure you're putting yourself first, making sure that you're handling your due diligence, right? It's almost like, for instance, you know what I mean? You know that you got a test on Monday, right? And you have a project that you got to facilitate. You got to review it. You got to make sure that you know what I mean? Whether it's an independent project or you got a group project, you got work you got to do, right? So we got to make sure that you have, your needs that are being put first. You're ready, you're prepped up for that exam or whatever that thing is on presentation is on Monday, right? You know what I mean? So before you are considering any other extracurricular tax activities or any type of fun or pleasure, right? So making sure you handle your business. I really want to be real with you, right? So these things matter. These things matter, and it shows who you are over time. I want you guys not to have that mindset of procrastination, self-sabotage, breaking yourself down, making yourself feel limited, but also I want you guys to have a mind of freedom. I want you guys to have a mind of empowerment. I want you guys to have a mind of, consistency, control, discipline, structure. Like, you have a rhythm, you have control over your life and how you navigate, right? I want you guys to have that. So please, take these in consideration, please. You know what I mean? Let's talk about support mental health on campus, right? So we have campus resources, right? So we have counseling centers. Twist, if you're paying for that tuition, it's damn near free. You're paying for it. So get your needs right. Get those wellness programs. Get yourself involved. Advocate for yourself and get the support that you need to be able to help your mental health. We have social connections, right? So peer support. We have, though, to be able to reduce that anxiety and that stress. There's different lounges and areas for you to be able to interact with other people. You know what I mean? Like, say hi to a friend, be kind. You feel me? We got a video on that too. Kindness don't take too much, right? And it helps you and it helps that person. By loving yourself, you're loving others. And loving others, you're loving yourself. So it's an even exchange. So get yourself connected with other people, right? As individuals too, as human beings, we're supposed to be interacting with people. It shouldn't take us to get to our LD stages to realize that, right? Love a friend, love another, let's love each other, more positivity out here, you heard? So let's get into some healthy lifestyle habits as well. So by prioritizing your sleep, your nutrition, the things that you put in your body, right? Get away from the passion fruit juices and the sweet things and get your body dysregulated, right? With too much sugar, right? Pulling us down. But really moving towards more movement to improve our emotional balance, right? So, these things are, I'm giving y'all research, right? This was by, Harvard Health, right? So I really want us to do healthy things to be able to benefit our, lifestyle and our habits, to be able to help us have healthy ways to navigate and just an overall wellness for ourselves. Next is going to be ask for help early, right? So don't wait last minute for you to be tore up from the floor up and you're down bad. You know what I mean? And I'll tell people too, when you stressed out and you down bad and you burnt out, right? It could take you a little minute to find yourself and put yourself back together, to get yourself back to your original state, right? So if we know this and we're seeing, things is not going the way we anticipate to do, it's a red flag. Let's get on it. Seek support. And seeking support is a strength, not a failure, right? You're getting yourself back, you're rehabilitating yourself before you tore up on the floor, right? And that's something I don't want you to be in, right? So do what you have to do for yourself, put yourself first, and things are gonna be beneficial for who? You. All right? So next segment, we're gonna be talking about building long-term resilience, right? So we have to be able to navigate through a life of reality, right? So life is not going to always be sweet all the time. We're going to have moments of things just coming our way that we didn't anticipate. I'm going to be real with you. You know what I mean? Some days you're going to wake up, you're going to be like, what the heck? I got a call, like, I mean, like grief, like loss, like things be happening. I got to be real with you, right? So we got to be able to have long-term skills and techniques and tools to be able to have that resilience, to how we're going to be able to bounce back, how we're going to come out stronger, how we're going to be able to improve, right? So stick with me. First concept, we're going to be talking about progress over perfection, right? So growth happens through learning, not just that consistent achievement and the outcomes, right? So it's about the learning, it's about the process, right? It's about who you are becoming, not what you have. You know what I mean? It's about really who you are. You know what I mean? So look at the progress in the process and really let that marinate with yourself as you're navigating through. So don't worry too much about perfection and being perfect. Just worry about, you know what I mean, improving your ways and learning. Next is going to be that self-compassion. I always emphasize this because we got to be kind to ourselves. We're the one that's doing it. We're the one that's putting the work in. We're the one that's improving. We're the one that's, I mean, we had to go through the darkness of all this negativity and seek the support, put ourselves in a position to be vulnerable. We had to do all these things, right? So why not be kind to ourselves? Why not treat ourselves like that baby we holding? Now, why not treat ourselves the way we treat our friend? We always giving and pumping out that love, right? So let's give that love back to ourselves. And like I said, once again, by loving ourselves, we're loving others. And by loving others, we're loving ourselves. But we got to have self-compassion of being kind to ourselves to reduce the anxiety and even that burnout as well. Next is going to be that skill development. So stress management skills improve with that practice. So how we get better, all right? We get better over time, but we got to also have that consistency when it comes to our self-development. Next is going to be adaptability when it comes to that resilience, growth by adjusting, not just avoiding, challenges and putting them off and just being procrastinating, just when we get to it, but really looking at ourselves, really sitting with that emotion and really finding ways with that positive mindset and being productive and getting on it with that adaptability, right? Being optimistic, really just embracing what we have to grow. Right, so, I really want us to take in consideration, just wrapping up this video together, we're able to thrive through any situation, right? This thriving talks, you feel me? So thriving, not just surviving, right? So managing your anxiety isn't just about, eliminating that just stress, right? It's about learning how we're able to live with it, right? Alongside it, right? So we got to really be able to help ourselves with that self-compassion. But let me end off with some research, right? So healthy coping strategies and those skills that we discuss, a supportive network, as we talked about, is support for us to network and have connections with people, and even the campus resources to be able to significantly improve students' wellness and well-being, right? So anxiety is something that we're able to manage when we have the proactive skills, as we discussed once again. In college, support long life mental health, not just in our academic life, but in our personal life, right? So when we put ourselves first, we do what we have to do, right? We're able to navigate on the campus, on our life, as we're putting ourselves first and making proactive decisions for ourselves, right? So stick with me if you found this video beneficial. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, stay connected with Thriving Talks, and more blessings and more things are going to come on the way. However, take it easy and thrive on that campus. Do what you got to do, stick on your purpose. And once again, put yourself first, love yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed.